Have you seen the free course Intro to Testing Machine Learning Models? Want to know a Python-based performance test tool you can actually run on Google's Kubernetes engine? Is a developer software development lifecycle the same as a security lifecycle? Find out the answers to these and all other end-to-end full pipeline DevOps, automation testing, performance testing, and security testing in this episode of the Test Guild News Show for the week of April 3rd. So grab your favorite cup of coffee or tea and let's do this. This episode of the Test Guild News Show is sponsored by the awesome folks at Applitools. Applitools is a next-generation test automation platform powered by visual AI, which increases quality, accelerates delivery, and reduces costs with the world's most intelligent test automation platform. But seeing is believing, so create your free account now by clicking in the link in the comment down below. And while you're there, why not leave a comment, and subscribe to get alerted every time I release a new episode. First up, automation news. So one of the hottest tools in test automation lately has been Cypress. And if you haven't used Cypress yet, or you actually want to learn more about how to actually use it in the real world, I found a great free course for you by the folks at Cypress on introducing real-world testing with Cypress. And real-world testing with Cypress is actually a 4-course curriculum that teaches everything you need to know about testing modern web applications with Cypress. And has 25 lessons with 4 core courses, the first being testing your first application, the second is testing foundations, the third is Cypress fundamentals, and the fourth is advanced Cypress concepts. And they're actually going to use 30 plus examples of real-world tests against real-world apps. So when you're done with this, you actually will have a really good example of how things work against real applications, not just a bogus test app. So you can definitely get up and running really quick. Definitely check this out. I think it's going to be a great value to you to actually learn more about Cypress. So check it out. Let me know what you think. And if you're into using SeleniumGrid Docker images, I found a special announcement by one of my favorite contributors to Selenium, and that is Diego Molina. And so the announcement is Grid Docker images now have official Helm pack chart. And if you don't know, Helm is the package manager for Kubernetes. And the SeleniumGrid Helm chart enables the creation of SeleniumGrid server in Kubernetes. Awesome. So thank you, Diego, for announcing that. And seems like a really cool development for people that want to run SeleniumGrid on Kubernetes. And speaking of Docker, actually Docker's founder launched Dagger, which is a new DevOps platform I just learned about this week as well. And actually Dagger was launched into public beta last week and announced $20 million in Series A round funding. And the article goes to talk about how there are very powerful DevOps tools, but they tend to be very specialized. And as these applications expand in scope, so does the DevOps stack. There's no shortage of specialized tools, but then developers have to glue them all together, and the glue is the bottleneck. So Dagger focuses on replacing the glue with something better. So if you actually click on Dagger, you learn it's a portable dev kit for CI/CD pipelines. It gives you the ability to test and debug your pipelines locally, run the same pipeline on your CI environments without rewrites, and developed in open source by the creators of Docker. So it looks like a really cool solution if you're doing anything with DevOps. Definitely a tool you should check out as well. And not to be outdone, Kubernetes gets in the game with another DevOps tool, but this is from Garden.io, which is focused on Kubernetes. So Garden.io is a cloud development and testing platform for Kubernetes and container environments, and it's raised $16 million in Series A round funding. Garden.io targets developer operations DevOps teams with an end-to-end developer and testing platform that helps build entire systems and spin up production-like environments from scratch using a graph-based framework. And the Garden.io founder mentioned that it's unique in that it works the same way from a developer's laptop and in continuous integration and continuous deployment CI/CD automation, and accelerates both. And if you go to Garden.io, its main headline is Go Cloud Native without the trade-offs. And as I keep mentioning, one of my predictions for 2022 was the rise of tools to help you with cloud native type testing. And here's just another example of another platform designed for developers and to help you test against cloud native for our DevOps solutions. Definitely check out Garden.io and let me know what you think. And if you're into DevOps, you probably know about Puppet. They just released the results of their 2021 DevOps survey salary report. And one of the biggest takeaways, which is a positive trend, obviously, is that they found that the gender salary gap is decreasing while global salary competition is rising. And some other key findings they go into is the European job market remains quite stable despite recent pandemic-driven periods of disruption. And also Companies at a high level of DevOps evolution continue to compensate their employees at the highest level. So to take a deep dive into all the findings in this Puppet survey, definitely once again, check that out in the first comment down below. All right, a question I always get asked is how to learn about AI and machine learning from a tester's perspective. So that's why this next resource is a must-have for any tester that really wants to dive into learning more about machine learning. So data science and machine learning teams are always looking for testing professionals to help them with their data, their pipeline, models, services, AI ethics, and more as they build many of these AI solutions we've been talking about on this news show. So in this course, Carlos covers real machine learning models and how you can test them. And it has chapters on things like what is machine learning, building a machine learning model, where do testers fit into machine learning? I think this is a must-watch course for sure. So thank you, Carlos, for creating this resource for the testing community. And I'm not sure if I told you, but next week I'm going to be hosting an Applitools event for software engineers and design and test enthusiasts. And this event is an 8-hour event dedicated to promoting excellence in quality engineering and features experts from global brands leading engaging sessions about innovation and cutting-edge practices in user experience design and testing, which is a hot topic lately. So they have an awesome lineup as always. So to me, it's a no-brainer. It's free, and look forward to seeing you at the event. Next up, performance and site reliability news. And once again, one of the people I always follow on LinkedIn, Umesh, just dropped another cool link for Anatomy of an Incident, which for SRE folks, you definitely should check out on Google's SRE site. So this definitely is a must-read for SREs that uses Google's approach for incident management. And so this ebook has a lot of things it goes over. Some of it is deal proactively with incidents, how to be prepared, learn the characteristics of an incident response organizational structure, steps to recover and mitigations after an incident has occurred, learn how to measure and reduce incident impacts, how to use postmortems as tools for prevention and psychological safety. So just another great resource for you and your teams if you are involved at all with site reliability engineering. So one of my top post on my website is the top open source tools for performance testing. And one of those tools on my list is Locust. So I was really excited to see this next article on distributed Locust testing on Google's Kubernetes engine. It goes over the requirements to get this done, how to create your Kubernetes cluster, how to deploy Locust to your cluster, how to execute a distributed load test. So definitely a must read if you're using Locust, you want to learn more about Locust for performance testing. Next up, security news. So we always talk about on the show and probably in your teams how we need to shift everything that we do earlier and earlier in the software development lifecycle. So the shift left approach. One of those things is security, which I definitely agree you need to get developers more involved with security. But does that mean that there's no need for any other security in your team or that you don't need another group to help you with security? Well, this next article goes into detail on how the developer lifecycle is not the same as a security lifecycle and some of the reasons why. And the article just goes into detail on what the differences are, some of the issues that if we expect developers to catch all security issues, and it's just a good read on what the differences are and how in the end, you're definitely going to need to have security operations with alignment with your software development lifecycle, but to stretch beyond it as well. And how AppSec has its own life cycle and it's different from a developer's. And you need to be aware of that, even as we try to shift some of these activities to developers. They're not solely responsible for all the security efforts of your development. And obviously, talking about security, Log4j has been one of the biggest news items for the past few months. And WhiteSource has actually come up with a free resource to help you find Log4j issues. So WhiteSource launches a free developer tool to detect and remediate log-of-shell vulnerabilities. And their Spring4Shell Detect is a free CLI tool that quickly scans your projects to find vulnerability Spring4Shell versions containing the following known CVEs. So definitely a free tool you should definitely check out on GitHub. And for links of everything of value we covered in this news episode, head on over to links in the first comment down below. And while you're there, make sure to check out our awesome sponsor, Applitools, by clicking on the link to create a free account and discover how to take your automation testing to the next level by leveraging visual AI. So that's it for this episode of the Test Guild News Show. I'm Joe, and my mission is to help you succeed in creating end-to-end full pipeline automation awesomeness. As always, test everything and keep the good. Cheers.